In the dim glow of a Manhattan coffee shop, Emily Harper's world shattered with a single glance. Across the crowded room, her eyes locked with those of a stranger. A woman with piercing green eyes and a confident stride that made Emily's heart stutter. But it wasn't just the attraction. It was the immediate, gut-wrenching realization that this feeling buried deep for years was no longer ignorable, especially not on the eve of her engagement party. Emily had always played by the rules. Raised in a conservative suburb of Chicago, she moved to New York City 5 years ago to pursue a career in corporate law, leaving behind a family that prized tradition above all. Her fiancé Mark was the perfect match on paper. Handsome, ambitious, and from a similar background. Their relationship was comfortable, predictable, like the neatly organized files on her desk at the firm. But lately cracks had begun to show. Late nights at work weren't just about cases. They were escapes from the growing emptiness she felt when Mark touched her hand or talked about their future home in the suburbs. That afternoon, as rain pattered against the cafe windows, the stranger approached. "Mind if I join? Everywhere else is taken," she said, her voice smooth like velvet. Emily nodded, her throat dry. The woman's name was Lena Vargas, a freelance photographer who captured the raw underbelly of city life. They talked for hours about art, ambition, the suffocating weight of expectations. Lena's stories of traveling alone, defying her immigrant parents' dreams for her to marry and settle down, resonated with Emily in ways Mark's tales of stock markets never did. By the time they parted, Emily's phone buzzed with missed calls from Mark. "Where are you? The party's starting soon." Guilt twisted in her gut as she hurried home to their upscale apartment in Chelsea. The engagement party was a lavish affair, hosted by Mark's parents in a rooftop venue overlooking the Hudson. Guests milled about, toasting to their perfect couple status. Emily forced smiles, her mind replaying Lena's laugh, the way her eyes crinkled when she spoke passionately about equality marches she'd photographed. Midway through the evening, Mark pulled her aside. "You seem distant. Everything okay?" She nodded, but inside turmoil brewed. How could she explain the spark she'd felt with Lena? It wasn't just attraction, it was recognition of a self she'd suppressed since high school, when crushes on girls were dismissed as phases. Her parents, devout Catholics, had drilled into her that family meant husband, kids, stability. Coming out wasn't an option. It would mean disownment, judgment from their tight-knit community. That night, as Mark slept beside her, Emily stared at the ceiling. The engagement ring felt heavy on her finger, a symbol of the life she was supposed to want. But Lena's business card burned in her purse, a temptation she couldn't ignore. The next morning she texted Lena. "Coffee again?" It was a small decision, but one that set off a chain reaction. Their meetings became routine: lunches in hidden parks, walks along the High Line where tourists blended into anonymity. Lena shared her own struggles. Growing up in a Latino household in Brooklyn, where machismo reigned and her sexuality was a family secret until she left home at 18. "I lost my sister for years over it," Lena confessed one day, her voice cracking. "She thought I was choosing sin over family." Emily listened, her own fears mirroring Lena's past. Yet, with each conversation, the walls Emily had built crumbled. Mark noticed the changes. "You're always out. Is there someone else?" he accused during a heated dinner argument. Emily denied it, but the lie tasted bitter. She wasn't cheating physically, but emotionally, her heart had already strayed. The guilt ate at her, manifesting in sleepless nights and lost appetite. She confided in her best friend Sarah, who urged caution. "Think about what you're risking. Your career, your family. They won't understand." One evening, after a particularly intense talk with Lena about dreams deferred, they shared a moment. Standing on a bridge in Central Park, Lena's hand brushed Emily's. The touch sent electricity through her. "What are we doing?" Emily whispered, pulling away. Lena's eyes searched hers. "Figuring out who we really are." That night, Emily broke down in the shower, sobs muffled by running water. The choice loomed: continue the facade with Mark or pursue this terrifying truth. As weeks turned to months, the tension escalated. Emily's parents visited for a weekend, gushing over wedding plans. "We're so proud of you finding a good man like Mark," her mother said, hugging her tightly. Emily forced enthusiasm, but inside she felt like a fraud. Lena, meanwhile, pushed gently. You deserve to be happy, Em. Not just existing. The nickname stung with intimacy. The breaking point came at a firm event. Mark introduced Emily as his future wife, and she spotted Lena across the room, invited as a photographer. Their eyes met, and in that instant Emily knew she couldn't pretend anymore. Excusing herself, she followed Lena to a quiet balcony. I can't do this, Emily said, tears welling. Lena pulled her into a hug, the first real embrace. It was comfort, not passion, but it felt right. Back home, Mark confronted her. Who is she? The fight was ugly. Accusations of betrayal, reminders of shared dreams. Emily admitted the truth. I'm gay, Mark. I think I've always known. His face crumpled, a mix of hurt and anger. How long? Was our whole relationship a lie? She couldn't answer fully, the pain too raw. He stormed out, leaving her alone with the wreckage. In the aftermath, Emily called her parents. The conversation was a nightmare. This is a phase, her father bellowed. You're throwing away everything for what? Some whim. Her mother cried, invoking God and family honor. They cut the call short, threatening to withdraw support. Emily's world narrowed to isolation, but Lena was there, offering a couch in her Brooklyn loft. Moving in temporarily, Emily grappled with the fallout. Colleagues whispered at work, some supportive, others judgmental, in a city that prided itself on progress but still harbored biases. Her firm, conservative at its core, hinted at stalled promotions. The emotional toll was immense. Therapy sessions unpacked years of repression, but each revelation brought fresh wounds. Yet amid the chaos, Emily felt a glimmer of freedom. Walks with Lena turned into dates, tentative steps toward authenticity. But doubts crept in. Had she destroyed lives for selfish reasons? Mark's pain haunted her, her family's silence deafening. As Emily settled into Lena's loft, the initial relief gave way to harsh realities. The space was a far cry from her Chelsea apartment, cluttered with camera gear, exposed brick walls echoing every sound. But it was a sanctuary, away from the judgmental eyes of her old life. Lena cooked simple meals, sharing stories of her own coming-out journey to ease Emily's anxiety. It gets better, but it's not linear, Lena said one night over wine. You'll have days where you question everything. Those questions hit hard when Emily's sister Claire called. The only family member who'd always been somewhat progressive, Claire listened without immediate condemnation. I love you, Em, but Mom and Dad, they're devastated. Give them time. Emily hung up, a mix of hope and despair. Time? How much time until her heart mended from the self-inflicted wounds? Work became a battleground. Her boss, a stern older man, pulled her into his office. Personal matters affecting performance? He asked pointedly. Emily assured him otherwise, but the subtext was clear. Conform or face consequences. She threw herself into cases, winning a high-profile one that should have brought acclaim. Instead, whispers followed. The lesbian lawyer. Wonder if that's why she's so aggressive. Social circles fractured too. Friends from her life with Mark distanced themselves, some citing loyalty to him, others uncomfortable with the drama. One brunch turned awkward when a former mutual friend said, I never saw this coming. You seemed so normal. The word stung, reinforcing societal norms Emily had internalized. Lena's world offered contrast. Attending an LGBTQ+ art exhibit with her, Emily met vibrant people. Artists, activists, who embraced her without question. For the first time she felt seen, not judged. But even there tensions arose. Lena's ex, a fiery activist named Mia, cornered Emily. Lena's been hurt before. Don't string her along if you're not sure. The warning planted seeds of doubt. Was Emily ready, or was this a rebound from her imploded life? The first major confrontation came at a family gathering Emily couldn't avoid. Her cousin's wedding in Chicago. Flying back alone, she braced for impact. Her parents greeted her coolly, her mother avoiding eye contact. During the reception, her father pulled her aside. Mark called us. Said you left him for a woman. Is this some New York phase? Emily's voice shook as she affirmed, No, Dad. It's who I am. He walked away, muttering about disgrace. Her mother cornered her later, tears streaming. We raised you better. What about grandchildren? Our church friends, they're talking. Emily defended herself, explaining the years of suppression, but it fell on deaf ears. Choose, Emily. Us or this lifestyle. The ultimatum cut deep, forcing her to leave early, heart in pieces. Back in New York, Lena comforted her, but Emily's frustration boiled over. Why does it have to be so hard? I gave up everything. Lena held her, whispering, because change never comes easy, but you're brave for trying. Their bond deepened, shared vulnerabilities forging intimacy. Yet Emily's indecision lingered. Calls to Mark went unanswered, his social media showing him moving on, which both relieved and pained her. A turning point arrived via an unexpected ally. Sarah, her best friend, who organized an intervention of sorts. You need to decide what you want, not what others expect. Over coffee, Sarah shared her own secret. She'd questioned her sexuality in college but chosen safety. Don't regret like I do. The confession shook Emily, highlighting the widespread silent struggles. Emboldened, Emily confronted her firm about the biases. Filing a subtle complaint led to a meeting where she advocated for diversity training. It didn't erase the stigma, but it earned respect from some colleagues. Personally, she reached out to her parents again, sending a letter detailing her journey, hoping for understanding. Lena, sensing Emily's growth, planned a surprise. A weekend getaway to the Hamptons. There, amid ocean waves, they talked futures. I want this with you, Lena admitted. Emily hesitated, the weight of loss is heavy. But at what cost? The question hung, unanswered. Upon return, disaster struck. Mark, in a moment of spite, outed Emily to mutual professional contacts via a veiled email. Rumors spread like wildfire, affecting a key client relationship. Emily's boss demanded explanations, hinting at reassignment. Furious, she considered suing but opted for confrontation. Meeting Mark at a neutral cafe, she demanded, "Why? We were friends once." He replied bitterly, "You destroyed me. Fair's fair." The encounter left her reeling, questioning if her choices invited such retaliation. Lena urged resilience. Fight back by living truthfully. Inspired, Emily joined a support group for LGBTQ+ professionals, finding solidarity. But the emotional scars deepened, nightmares of abandonment, days of self-doubt. As summer faded, Emily's parents made a tentative step. A phone call from her mother. "We're trying to understand. Come home for Thanksgiving." It was progress, fragile but real. Emily agreed, nerves frayed. The holiday loomed as a test. Arriving alone, she faced awkward silences, but Claire mediated, sharing articles on acceptance. Her father grumbled but listened. A small victory, yet Emily paid dearly. Exhaustion from the emotional labor. Back with Lena, gratitude swelled. Their first kiss happened naturally under city lights, a culmination of built tension. It wasn't rushed, it was affirmation. But shadows lingered. Was this happiness worth the pain inflicted? Thanksgiving's fragile truce shattered weeks later when Emily's father suffered a minor heart attack. Rushing to Chicago, she found her family in disarray. Her mother, exhausted, confessed, "The stress. Your news didn't help." Guilt crashed over Emily like a wave. Had her coming out contributed? Doctors cited years of poor diet, but the implication lingered. Staying to help, Emily navigated tense dynamics. Her father, bedridden, avoided deep talks, but one night he admitted, "I don't understand, but I don't want to lose you." It was a crack in his armor, born from vulnerability. Emily shared more, explaining her love for Lena without details. He listened at first. Returning to New York, the incident reframed her priorities. Lena supported from afar, but distance bred insecurity. "Are you regretting us?" Lena asked during a call. Emily reassured, but inwardly, she wrestled with the collateral damage her truth caused. Lena faced her own trials. Her photography gig at a conservative magazine ended abruptly after they discovered her activism. They said my lifestyle clashed with their brand. The loss stung financially, straining their budding relationship. Arguments ensued. Emily suggesting Lena compromise, Lena accusing her of hypocrisy. You fought for authenticity. Now you want me to hide? The rift deepened during a Pride event. Emily attended hesitantly, overwhelmed by the crowds. Mia, Lena's ex, reappeared flirting openly. Jealousy flared in Emily, leading to a blowout. Is this what you want? Someone who's always been out? She accused. Lena stormed off, leaving Emily alone in the sea of rainbows, feeling like an outsider. Reconciliation came slowly. Lena apologized, explaining Mia was just a friend. I'm scared too, Em. This is real for me. They committed to therapy together, unpacking insecurities. Sessions revealed Emily's internalized homophobia, rooted in upbringing, and Lena's fear of abandonment from past relationships. Social pressures mounted. Emily's old friends organized an intervention dinner, urging her to reconsider. Mark still loves you. Give it another chance. The pleas tempted her momentarily. Return to safety erased the chaos. But envisioning a life without Lena felt hollow. A pivotal decision arose when Emily's firm offered a transfer to San Francisco. Better opportunities, fresh start. But it meant leaving Lena, whose career was New York bound. Go if you must, Lena said tearfully. But know what you're choosing. Emily agonized, weighing career against love. Opting to stay, she quit the firm instead, joining a progressive nonprofit advocating for LGBTQ+ rights. The pay cut hurt, but fulfillment surged. This is me, she told Lena, solidifying their bond. Family ties strained further. Her parents visited New York, meeting Lena awkwardly over dinner. Questions flew. Is this permanent? Her mother probed. Emily affirmed. Yes, and I hope you'll accept it. Her father remained silent, but a nod suggested thawing. Betrayal struck from an unexpected source. Claire, her sister, confessed to sharing Emily's story with extended family, thinking it would help. Instead, it sparked backlash. Aunts and uncles unfriending her online, sending condemning letters. You've shamed us all. Emily felt violated, confronting Claire. That was my truth to tell. The argument severed their closeness temporarily. Healing required boundaries. Emily limited contact, focusing on her new life. With Lena, they moved in together permanently, a Brooklyn brownstone symbolizing commitment. Small joys, cooking together, weekend hikes, countered the hardships. Yet, moral dilemmas persisted. Had Emily's pursuit of self harmed innocence? Mark's lingering bitterness manifested in a chance encounter. He wished her well, but with resentment. You got your freedom. I got the scars. As winter set in, Emily volunteered at a shelter, mentoring young queer individuals. Their stories mirrored hers, reinforcing her path's value despite costs. Lena's photography flourished in inclusive spaces, capturing their journey in a personal series. A high-stakes confrontation loomed. Her parents' anniversary party. Inviting Lena, Emily braced for rejection. Surprisingly, they agreed, albeit tensely. The event was a minefield. Relatives' stares whispered judgments. But when her father toasted, including and her partner Lena, it was a breakthrough, hard-won through persistence. The victory came at a price. Exhaustion, therapy bills, fractured relationships. Emily pondered if the ends justified the means, her resolve tested daily. With spring's arrival, Emily and Lena's relationship faced its sternest test. Lena received a dream offer. A year-long photography residency in Europe, documenting social movements. This could change everything for my career, she said excitedly. Emily feigned support, but panic brewed. What about us? The question exposed vulnerabilities. Emily's fear of loss, Lena's ambition clashing with stability. Debates turned heated. You left everything for me, now support my dreams, Lena argued. Emily countered. I'm still rebuilding. This feels like abandonment. The impasse led to a temporary separation. Lena crashing with friends, Emily alone in their home. Echoes amplifying solitude. During the break, Emily dove into work at the nonprofit, leading a campaign against workplace discrimination. Success brought media attention. Interviews where she shared her story anonymously at first, then openly. The exposure drew hate mail but also support letters, validating her sacrifices. Reconnecting with Mark unexpectedly helped. Bumping into him at a conference, they talked civilly. "I forgive you," he said. "It hurt, but I see now we weren't right." The closure freed Emily, allowing her to reflect without guilt's shadow. Family dynamics evolved unevenly. Her mother called weekly, awkward but genuine attempts at understanding. "I read a book on it," she shared. Her father remained distant, but sent a birthday card addressed to both Emily and Lena. A small gesture with big impact. Lena's decision deadline approached. In a heartfelt reunion, they compromised. Lena would go for 6 months with Emily visiting. "We'll make it work," Emily promised. The plan tested trust but strengthened their foundation. Societal backlash intensified post-interview. Online trolls targeted Emily, doxing her address. Fear gripped her. She installed security, changed routines. Lena, back temporarily, rallied friends for support. The ordeal highlighted ongoing prejudices, even in progressive New York. A moral crossroads emerged when Emily's nonprofit faced funding cuts due to conservative donors withdrawing over her visibility. "Tone it down," her boss suggested. Emily refused, leading a protest that garnered attention and threats. One night, a brick through their window with a hateful note shattered peace. Police investigated, but the incident scarred. In response, Emily and Lena organized a community vigil, turning fear into action. Speeches emphasized resilience, drawing crowds. Media coverage amplified their message, but at personal cost: sleepless nights, paranoia. As Lena prepared for Europe, Emily's doubts resurfaced. "What if you find someone else?" Lena reassured. "You're my home." Their farewell at the airport was tearful, promises exchanged amid uncertainty. Alone, Emily leaned on her support group. Stories of similar separations inspired, but loneliness gnawed. Work consumed her, leading a lawsuit against discriminatory practices that won, boosting her reputation. Family reconciliation peaked with a surprise visit from her parents. "We want to try," her mother said. Over dinner, they met Lena via video. Conversations stilted but civil. Her father admitted, "I was wrong to push you away." Tears flowed, healing begun. Yet betrayals lingered. Claire apologized profusely, rebuilding trust through actions. Attending pride events, advocating within family. Emily forgave, recognizing shared flaws. Lena's letters from Europe detailed adventures, but hinted at homesickness. Video calls bridged the gap, but physical absence strained. Emily dated herself, therapy, hobbies, discovering independence. A crisis hit when Lena's residency extended optionally. "I need this," she pleaded. Emily, feeling sidelined, snapped, "What about what I need?" The argument via call ended in silence, days of no contact. Reflection led to insight. Love required sacrifice but not self-erasure. Emily flew to Europe unannounced, confronting Lena. "We choose each other daily." The reunion reignited passion, deciding Lena would return early. Back together, they navigated readjustment. Emily's career soared. Lena's portfolio expanded. But scars remained: trust issues, familial tensions. A final confrontation. At a family reunion, an uncle spewed homophobic remarks. Emily stood firm, defending, "This is my life. Accept or not." Her parents backed her. A united front forged from trials. The journey's toll. Lost friends, career hurdles, emotional exhaustion. But gains, authenticity, love, purpose outweighed. As years blended, Emily and Lena's life stabilized into a rhythm of shared dreams and lingering shadows. They married in a small ceremony in Central Park, surrounded by accepting friends and tentative family. Her parents attended, her father walking her down the aisle, a symbol of hard-won acceptance. Claire officiated, tears in her eyes. Mark sent a congratulatory note, closure complete. Professionally, Emily rose to director at the nonprofit, influencing policy changes. Lena's European experience launched her into acclaimed exhibits, capturing queer stories worldwide. Together they mentored youth, paying forward resilience. Yet, echoes of past conflicts resurfaced. During a heated debate at a panel, Emily faced accusations of ruining lives for personal gain. The words echoed her doubts. Had her choices been selfish? Therapy continued, unpacking layers. Family holidays improved, but undercurrents of judgment persisted. Her mother's occasional slips. When will you have kids? Reminded of unmet expectations. Emily and Lena discussed adoption, but societal hurdles for same-sex couples loomed. A betrayal from within tested bonds. Lena confessed a fleeting emotional affair during her residency loneliness. It meant nothing, but I was weak. Devastation hit Emily like a freight train. After everything, the fight was raw, trust fractured. Separation loomed again, but they chose counseling over divorce. We fight for us, Lena vowed. Rebuilding was arduous, transparency, vulnerability. Emily confronted her own flaws, clinging too tightly from fear. Societal shifts offered hope. Legal victories for LGBTQ+ rights mirrored their personal wins, but backlash reminded of ongoing battles. A hate crime in their neighborhood shook them, prompting activism anew. In quiet moments, Emily reflected on the path. The initial glance in the cafe, the shattered engagement, familial rifts, career risks. Each decision carried a price. Pain inflicted, relationships severed, but also gifts. Self-acceptance, profound love. As they sat on their balcony one evening, watching the city pulse, Lena asked, "Regrets?" Emily shook her head. The hurt was real, but so is this joy. Their story became a beacon for others, shared in Lena's photo book, Shadows of Us. Reviews praised its raw honesty, sparking debates on authenticity versus obligation. In the end, Emily pondered the moral ambiguity. Was sacrificing others' comfort for one's truth justifiable, or does it border on selfishness?